few more minutes.
No, Prabhu, you can start at 7.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with the prayers. Om Vajnana-Trimandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Tadvaitam Sadvetam Prijana Stitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Prashvani Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Taruvascha Kripa Sindhu Vebacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we are starting with the text, chapter 1, text 36, right, Prabhu? Is this correct today? So can you confirm?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So please repeat after me. Papam evisha. Sorry. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead. No problem.
Okay. Papam evashrayadasam
Papam eva shrayedasman
hatvaitam atatyena
hatvaitan
Avitam
atatayinah
tasmannara vayam hantam
tasmanarha vayam
Vayam
hantum
Hantum
dhritarashtansa bandhavana
dhartarashtranscha bandhavan
Bandhavan
svajanam hi katham hatva
svajanam hi katam hatva
sukhina shayam madhava
sukhina syama madhava
papam evashrayadasam
papam eva
Shrayadasman
shrayedasman
hatavatan atatina
hatvaitan
Advaitam
atatayinah
Atiyena
tasmannara vayam hantum
tasmanarha
Tasmanarha
vayam
Vayam
hantum
Hantum
dhritarashtansa bandhavana
dhartarashtranscha
Dhartarashtranscha
bandhavan
Bandhavan
svajanam hi katham hatva
svajanam hi
Svajanam
katam
hi Katam
hatva
Hatva
sukhina sayama madhava
sukhina
Kina
syama
Shama
madhava
Madhava
papam evashrayadasam asman
papam eva
Eva Shrayadasman
shrayedasman
atvaitan atatina
advaitan
Advaitam
atatayinah
Atatayena
ashmannara vayam hantum
tasmanarha
Manarha
vayam
Vayam
hantum
Hantum
dhritarashtansa bandhavan
Dhartarashtranta
Dhartarashtraran
Bandhavan
Sabandhavan
Swajanam hi katham hatva
Swajanam hi
Janam
katham
hi katham
hatva
hatva
Sukhina shayama madhava.
Sukinasyama
Sukina Shama
Madhava
Madhava
Anybody want to
Papam eva shrayedasman
Papam
Papatam eva Shayavashman
Advaitanatatayinah
Atmaina Tatayina
Tasmannarha vayam hantum
Tasmanarha Vayam
Vayam
Hantum
Hantam
Dhartarashtran Sabandhavan
Dhartarashtraran
Dhritarashtrasya
Sabandhavan
Swajanam hi katam hatva
Swajanam
Swajanam
hi
hi
katham
katham
hatva
hatva
Sukinasyama Madhava
Shama
Sukhinashyama
Madhava
madhava.
Papameva Jayasman
Papam eva shrayedasman
Hatvaita Tana Titatina
Advaitanatatayinah
Tanmaharha Sayang Samhang
Tasmannarha vayam hantum
Garb Dhatrashtan Sabandhavan
Dhartarashtrana
Dhritarashtrasya
Sabandhavan
Bandhavan
Shajanang hi Tvang Hatva
Swajanam
Swajanam
hi
hi
katham
katham hatva
hatva
Sudhinang Shyama Madhava
Shukhina
Sukinasyama Madhava
madhava.
Papam eva asman
Papam
Papam eva
Shreyasman
shrayedasman
atvat itam at itayani
Advaitanatatayinah
Tatatayinam
asmanarha vayam hantum
Tasmannarha
Tasmanarha
vayam
vayam
hantum
hantum
ratran swabanandavam
Dhartarashtrana
Dhritarashtrasya
Sabandhavan
Sabandhavan
Bandhavan
janabhikatam hatva
Swajanam hi katam hatva
sukina shama madhava
Sukinasyama Madhava
Anybody else? Okay, then we'll read word to word. Papam, vice.
Papam vices
Eva, certainly.
eva certainly
Ashuryat, must come upon.
Ashrayat must come upon
Ashman, us.
Ashman us
Hatva, why killing.
Hatva by killing
Itan, all these.
Itan all these
all these
Tatattina, aggressors.
Atatayinah aggressors
Tasmat, therefore.
Tasmat
Ashmat
therefore
Na, never.
never
Arha, deserving.
Arha deserving
Vayam, we.
Vayam we
Hantum, to kill.
Hantum to kill
Dhritarashtran, the son Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra the sons of Dhritarashtra
Sa Bandhavana, along with friends.
Shah Bandhavan along with friends
Swajanam, kingsman.
Swajanam kinsmen
High, certainly.
he certainly
Katham how,
Katham how,
Hatva by killing,
Hatva by killing,
Shukhina happy,
Sukhina happy,
Shyama will be become,
Shyama will be become,
Madhva, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune.
Madhava,
O
O
Krishna,
Krishna, husband of the goddess of
fortune.
fortune.
Translation: Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? Purport by His Grace Srila Prabhupada. According to Vedic instructions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors: a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man, but Arjuna was not an ordinary man. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama, Rama Rajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita. But Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than killing his own kinsman for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsman? Arjuna's addressing of the Krishna as Madhva, or the husband of the goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, but to say nothing of his devotees. Hare Krishna. So here in this purport, so I just wanted to add some context. So we at this point of time, Arjuna's chariot is standing in the middle of the two armies, and when Arjuna looked at the other side, he find that he has his friends, his brothers, his cousins, his grandfathers, and all the relatives there onto the other side who are ready to fight with him. So now Arjuna is bewildered. He's confused. He is thinking that whether should I do it or not. As I think, as we discussed earlier into the previous verses, uh, basically he was illusioned by Krishna himself, so that he can, so that Krishna can make the grounds for speaking Bhagavad Gita and setting up the example for the human mankind. So at this point in time, Arjuna is bewildered and he is asking Krishna that why should I fight? Why should I kill my own family? Why should I kill my own friends? So now in this verse, Arjuna is saying that those people who are fighting, trying to fight with me, the sons of Dhritarashtra, they are the aggressors. But if I kill them, I will get the sin. So I was listening to actually Prabhupada's lecture today on this verse. So Prabhupada explains that the concept of sin is basically for devotees. It's not there for demons. So demons has no concept of sin. They don't consider what is wrong or what is right. So what is pious or what is not pious? So for demon, there is no concept of sin. It's only devotees who has the concept of sin. And the reason why it is why the demons don't have it is because they don't have authority. They don't have faith on anyone. So for a devotee, devotee consider the authority of the Supreme Personality Godhead as the supreme authority, but demons, they consider themselves as the super authority. They think that they are the controller of this world. So there is no concept for demons that if they do anything wrong, they don't think that they have done they have committed any sin or they have done anything unpious. So Prabhupada actually gives another example that when there was a fight between demigods, Indra and Hiranyakashipu. So the Hiranyakashipu, Indra's army actually won the fight, and they won everything. They took if they wanted, they could have taken away everything. They would have done other aggressions, as happened with other wars in this material world. People try to commit a lot of the side who wins the wars. They try to commit a lot of sins by acquiring others' lands, by acquiring others' women, and by doing all kind of different stupid stuff after they win the war. And so, but Indra's army, after winning the war, they did not do anything like that. But however, Indra dragged Hiranyakashipu's wife. He was dragging Hiranyakashipu's wife, and Hiranyakashipu's wife was crying at that point of time. So that time, so Narad Muni actually appeared and tried and talked to Indra that why are you doing this? You should not be doing this as a devotee. But then Indra said, I'm doing this because she is pregnant, because she has the seed of a demon. So what I wanted to do, I don't want it to hurt her. I wanted to do is that I wanted to, once the baby take the birth, I want to kill him, so that there is no seed left for a demon. But that time, Narad Muni explained that actually he is not a demon. The baby in Hiranyakashipu's wife's womb is he's not a demon. He's Mahabhagavad. He's a great devotee. So that time, At that time, Indra actually once, since Indra is a devotee of the Lord, of Krishna, so he could understand. So because Narad Muni had authority, and he he accepted that whatever Narad Muni said to Indra, he accepted that. And then Indra accepted it, and after accepting that, he bowed down actually. Once Narad Muni said that he is Mahabhagavata, he is a great devotee of Krishna, of Vishnu, so he bowed down, and uh, and then he circumambulated the woman, actually the wife of Hiranyakashipu, and then bow down. So Prabhupada explained that this is the symptom of a devotee. So if it would have been a demon, then that the demons would not consider it. First of all, Indra accepted the authority, the whatever authority said to Narad Muni, and second, he understood that this is wrong if he is doing that. Because it's the Mahabhagavata, a great devotee there, so I should respect, and he bowed down. So these are all symptoms of a devotee. So demons, as they don't have any concept of this, basically Prabhupada explained that the life of the demon. So when we take birth in this human life, right? The purpose is to elevate. The purpose is not to degrade the life. So if we do not have the concept of pious or unpious, or sinful or non-sinful, then we basically degrade our life. But that's not the purpose of this life. So we get this life after so many births into the lower forms, right? From into the form of animals, insects. So we go through this so many lives. After that, we get this one life of a human being, of a human being. So in this life, we should be actually doing the pious activities. So we should be following the authority. We should be following the authority of Guru. We should be following the authority of Krishna. Authority of Krishna. We should be following the authorities of Veda. So we should be following the authority, and that's the purpose of our life. If we are not doing that, then our life will be degraded. So as a devotee, that's our duty. So that's our duty to follow the instructions of the Lord, of Guru, of Vedas, of Shastras. So that's how we are. That's how then we can elevate from this life into the higher form. So even if we can if we can be if we can understand this, and we can even elevate it to a level that we don't need to come back. We don't need to take birth again into this human life. So then we can go back to Godhead, and then we don't need to get through this pain of taking life and taking birth again, and then going through this whole difficult life that we all have been going through. So that's why Arjun, Prabhupada explained that Arjun, because he was a great devotee, he could see that he's actually committing the sin. Although Prabhupada explained, as Prabhupada explained in this purport, that killing the aggressors is not actually a sinful activity. So as Prabhupada explained here, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. The person who is the poison giver, one who sets the fire on the house, one who attacks with the deadly weapons, one who plunder riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. So if you see Kauravas, the sons of Dhritarashtra, actually they committed all these things. They were aggressors. They were definitely aggressors because they have done all these 6 things. So a poison giver, I think most of devotees know that they were the poison givers. So can somebody tell me that specific incident when they try to give poison to somebody?
They tried to give a poison. Bhima got fed with poison cakes.
Right. Yeah. So Bhima got fed with the poison pudding, rice pudding, and then he was thrown into the river. Right. So that is the first Prabhupada saying the first kind of aggression, right? The aggressors do the first kind of thing. Second is one who set fire to a fire on to the house. So
in a Laksha group.
Sorry, Mataji, your voice was breaking. Can you please say that again?
She's saying in the Lakshya Graha, like that.
Yes. So they tried to set Pandavas in Laksha Graha. They trapped the Pandavas there, and they tried to put them on fire. They put their house on fire, Laksha Graha on fire, so that they can kill Pandavas. So that is the second kind of aggressor. The third kind is one who attacks with deadly weapons. Any such examples? Any such examples that they have done?
Prabhuji, when they were in exile, Duryodhana wanted to kill them multiple times, but Vyasdeva
Right.
came and he stopped them. And he said, if you go there, I will curse you that you will be destroyed.
Yeah. So that was the example when
Then Aswathama released a Brahmastra to kill
Right.
Pandavas. And
Yeah, but that was after the war.
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah, but before that, when they were in exiles, they did multiple attempts to kill Pandavas actually with different ways, with weapons and all that stuff. And then one who plundered riches. So basically, they were kind of thieves, right? They did not own all that Rajya or all that kingdom, right? They were kind of the thieves. They plunder actually Pandavas riches, Pandavas houses, Pandavas treasure, everything. So the one who occupies other land, again same thing. So they occupied forcefully Pandavas land. It was supposed to be Pandavas kingdom. Yudhishthir being the eldest son of Pandava, so he was the right king, but then they tricked them and they basically occupied their land. And the sixth kind of aggressor is one who kidnaps a wife. So we all know about this story that they cheated Pandavas in the game of chess. Right, and then Pandavas end up losing their wife, but then Ashwadhama actually he went, not Ashwadhama, sorry, Duryodhana's brother. Sorry, can somebody? Dusashan. Yeah, so Dusashan pulled Draupadi in the middle of all this assembly of men and tried to pull her clothes. Right. So this is like kidnapping somebody's wife. So if you see, they were real aggressors. They had done all the bad things that they wanted to, what a aggressor should do. Not even 1, 2, or 3. They have done all 6 things that Prabhupada is explaining here. So they were definitely aggressors, and Prabhupada explained that they should be killed. The aggressors should need to be killed. So, but Arjuna, out of compassion, because out of his saintliness, he was not ready to do that. So he was not ready to do that. So that's why. So in one term, so Arjuna was compassionate, but on the other side, he was not actually doing his duty as a kshatriya. It's the duty of the kshatriya to punish the aggressors, right? So duty in the sense as a kshatriya duty, and also another duty is, so we as a human being, yes, we have the duty being into this body. We have duty to take care of our families. We have duty towards our kids. We have duty towards our families. Then we have the higher duties. So our topmost duty or dharma is to follow the instructions of the higher authorities, to follow the instructions of Krishna, right? So that duty he is also forgetting here. So out of compassion, out of so Arjuna is making very good arguments here that he should not fight. He is making very good as a ordinary human being. If we just look at this, we would say that yeah, Arjuna is right. Why Krishna is trying to put him into this fight, which is not good for anybody, and it's gonna kill. It's gonna be violent. But he's the actual fact we are forgetting is it's his duty. So it was the fight for religion. It was the fight for dharma, right? It was dharam yudh, right? So in this dharam yudh, basically all the adharmis, all the aggressors which have committed sins, they should be killed. So Arjuna, out of compassion, was forgetting that. So that's why Prabhupada giving another example here, that Lord Rama, he was also saintly. He was very compassionate to everyone. But at the same time, he was not cowardly. So he has given enough lesson to Ravana because Ravana kidnapped his wife Sita Devi. So Prabhupada is giving example that in the same way, although the Lord Rama is compassionate and so saintly, but at the same time, Ravana kidnapped Sita Devi, his wife. So Ravana should have been punished, right? So and Lord Rama, so basically, who is none other than Krishna, he then gave him the kind of lesson for that. So then the Ravana and all who were supporting Ravana, they were killed into that war. So just one last thing I wanted to, on this verse, I wanted to bring up is that Arjuna, basically, he was so desperate to not fight at this point of time that he told Krishna that you are the husband of goddess of fortune. So you understand that it's very unfortunate if we fight this for the people. It's not gonna be good. So why you are kind of inducing me, being the goddess fortune, why you are bringing misfortune to all of us? Why you are bringing misfortune to all the kingsmen here? Why you are bringing misfortune to their kingdom? So he tried to kind of he was so desperate for he was so much into compassion, so much at this point he was so much into attachment that he even told Krishna that he pointed Krishna that you are husband of goddess of fortune, so you should not induce me into this, because it will not bring it will bring a lot of misfortune to everyone. So that's verse 1.36. Any questions here? Okay, let me go to the next one. Maybe we can take the questions at the end. I don't know why. Okay, so chapter 1, verse 37 to 38. Please repeat after me. Yadyapi itana pashyanti.
Yadyapyetena pashanti.
Can you increase font, Prabhu?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, it's good, Prabhu.
Yadyapi itana pashyanti.
Yadyapyetena pashanti.
Labo pahata chetashaha.
Lobo pahata chetasaha.
Kulaksha kratam dosham.
Kulakshaya kratam dosham.
Mitra drohe cha patakam.
Mitra drohe cha patakam.
Hamne janeyam ashmabhiv.
Katam nanyayam asmabhihi.
Papad ashman nivratitam.
Papadasmanivartitam.
Kulashaya kritam dosham.
Kulakshaya kratam dosham.
Prapashya dhirjanardhana.
Prapashyate janardana.
Yadyape itana pashyanti.
Yadyapyetena pashanti.
Lobho pahata chetsaha.
Lobo pahata chetasaha.
Kulashaya kritam dosham.
Kulakshaya kratam dosham.
Mitra drohe cha patakam.
Mitra drohe cha patakam.
Katham ne janeyam asambhaye.
Katam nanye asmabhihi.
Papad asman nivratitam.
Papadasmanivartitam.
Kulashaya kritam dosham.
Kulakshaya kratam dosham.
Prapasya dhir janardhana.
Prapashyadve janardana.
Yade api itan pashyanti.
Yadyapyetena pashanti.
Lobha pahata chetsaha.
Lobo pahata chetasaha.
Kulakshaya kritam dosham.
Kulakshaya kratam dosham.
Mitra drohe cha patakam.
Mitra drohe cha patakam.
Katham na janeyam asmabhi.
Kratam nanyaya asmabhihi.
Papad asman nivratitam.
Papadasmanivartitam.
Kulashaya kritam dosham.
Kulakshaya kratam dosham.
Prapashyad Janardhana.
Papasvi Janardanam.
Janardana.
Anybody want to read?
Yadyapyetena pashyanti
Yadyapi te na pashyanti
lobopahata chetasaha
lobopahat chetasaha
kulakshaya kratam dosham
कुलक्ष्य कृतं दोष
dosham
mitradrohe cha patakam
मित्रद्रोहे च
mitradrohe
पातकं
patakam
katam nanyayam asmabihi
कथं न
katham na
अस्माभिः
janamamabhihi
papadasman nivartitum
पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं
papat asmannivitam
kulakshaya kratam dosham
कुलक्षया कृतं दोषं
lakshya kritam dosham
papa prapashyadbir janardana
prapashyadhira janardhana.
यद्यपि एतेन पश्यन्ति
yadyapyetena pashyanti
Yanti
लोभोपहत चेतसः
lobo
lobopahata chetasaha
कुलाशया कृतं दोषम्
kulakshaya
kulakshya
kratam
kritam
dosham
dosham
मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्
mitradrohe cha
mitradrohe
patakam
chakam
कथं न चेयमस्माभिः
katam nanyayam asmabihi
katamnajane
आपदस्मान् निवार्तितुम्
papadasman nivartitam
कुलाशया कृतं दोषम्
kulakshaya
kulakshya
kratam
kritam
dosham
dosham
प्रपश्याब्धि जनार्दन
prapashyadbir
prapashyadhana
janardana
या याति अपैति न पश्यन्ति
yadyapyetena pashyanti
Shanti
लोभपतचेतसः
lobopahata chetasaha
कुलकक्ष्या कृतं दोषम्
kulakshaya
कुलक्षया
kratam dosham
दोषं
मित्रद्रोही च पातकम्
mitradrohe cha patakam
कथं कथं न जनयम् अस्भि
katam
कथं
nanyayam asmabihi
अस्माभिः
पापाद् अस्मान् निवर्तितुम्
papadasman nivartitum
कुलकक्ष्या कृतं दोषम्
kulakshaya kratam dosham
जनार्दन
prapashyadbir janardana
Janardana
यदपेति न पश्यन्ति
Yade
yadyapyetena pashyanti
Pashanti
लोभो अपतचेतसः
lobopahata chetasaha
Disha
कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं
kulakshaya
Kulakshya
kratam
Kratam
dosham
Dosham
मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्
mitradrohe cha patakam
Patakam
कथं च ज्ञेयमस्माभिः
katam
Katamne
nanyayam
Janayam
asmabihi
पापाद् पापादस्माभिः पापम् अस्माभिः वर्तितुं
papadasman nivartitum
कलक्षय कृतं दोषं
kulakshaya kratam dosham
प्रापश्योद्भिजनार्दनम्
prapashyadbir janardana
Okay, word to word translation. Yadi, if,
yadi
api, even, ete, sorry. Yadi, if,
if
api, even,
api even
एवं
ite, de,
ete de
Na, do not.
Na, do not.
Do not.
Pashyanti, see.
Pashyanti, see.
Shanti, see.
Lobha, by greed.
Lobha, by
Lobha, by
greed.
greed.
Upihata, overpowered.
Upahata,
Hata,
overpowered.
overpowered.
Chetasaha, their hearts.
Chetasaha, their hearts.
Chetasaha, our heart.
Kulaksha, in killing the family.
Kulakshaya, in
Laksha, in
killing the
killing the
family.
family.
Kratam, done.
Kritam, done.
Done.
Dosham, fault.
Dosham, fault.
Mitra, drohe, in quarreling with
Mitra,
friends.
drohe.
Mitra drohe, in quarreling with friends.
Cha, also.
Cha,
Also.
also.
Patakam, sinful reactions.
Patakam, sinful reactions.
Katham, why.
Katham,
why.
Na, should not.
Na, should not.
Janayam, be known.
Neyam, be known.
Asambhi, by us.
Asmabihi, by us.
Papat, from sins.
Papat, from sins.
Ashmat, these.
Asmat, these.
Nivratitam, to cease.
Nivratitam, to cease.
Kulakshya, in the destruction of dynasty.
In the destruction of
Kulakshaya, in the
dynasty.
destruction of a dynasty.
Kratam, done.
Kritam, done.
Dosham, crime.
Dosham, crime.
Prapashya, by those who can see.
Prapashyadrihi, by those who can see.
Janardhana, O Krishna.
Janardhana, O Krishna.
Translation: O Janardhana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Purport by His Grace Srila Prabhupada. A Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse a battle or gamble when he is not invited by some rival party. Under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight. Because he has challenged by the party of Duryodhana, in this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. So here, our Prabhupada is explaining that in this particular verse, actually Arjuna is still not ready to fight. So he's saying that although those are the aggressors, the other parties, their hearts are filled with greed, and they don't see any fault in finding. They don't see any fault in killing or fighting with the friends or the family. So we as the devotees, that's why should we do this crime? Why should we destroy the families which will then engage into the sinful activity? So again, here Arjuna is still so compassionate at this point of time that he is saying that he is not even ready to kill these sinful people. So he understands that those people are sinful, but he is not ready to kill those sinful people, because on the grounds he's saying that this will destroy the families, and this will bring sin to us. So Arjuna's compassion here is actually extended much beyond his duty. So much beyond his duty, because his duty as a kshatriya is to fight. So if somebody challenged kshatriya for a fight, he should not refuse. But kshatriya, but Arjuna, being such a good devotee, he's his mind is so compassionate that he's thinking, he's even ready to give up his duty as a kshatriya. So he's saying that I'm not going to fight with the Duryodhana and party, although they are sinful, although they are stupid, although they have done all the bad things. I'm not going to do it because it's gonna affect, it's gonna destroy, destroy destroy the family. So basically here, uh, here, Prabhupada is explaining that, so if the uh, so 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 Arjuna is able to see the evil consequences. He can see that the other there is nothing happening. There is nothing good happening after this war. He's not. They are not going to be happy. So he should not accept the challenge. But this kind of compassion, Prabhupada is saying, is that we should only have this kind of compassion when the other party is good, right? If the other party has they are onto the wrong side, we should not have those compassions, right? Though that binding, this should if the effects are good, then we should do it. Otherwise we should not really get into this fight. But Arjuna is considering these pros and cons and getting away from his duty at this point of time. And you call it compassion, but his compassion is kind of blinding him at this point of time. He's not ready to fight. So that's all we have. It's 7:53. We have 7 more minutes. So I'll request all the devotees to please ask, if you have any questions, please ask, or if you have any comments or any reflections, please feel free to bring it up. No questions? So either I did a...
No, I have a question.
Okay, thank you, Mataji, for bringing me, showing me the...
No, you gave a long talk. There is a ton of questions, but I was just thinking. So if Arjuna could see that his whole... I thought he was concerned about losing his family too, but he's worried about losing the other side also. I mean,
right. Yeah. I think he more than himself, being a devotee, his compassion was for others, for his friends onto the other side, and all the kingsmen. Basically, they were kings of that state. Right. So he was thinking that all his kingsmen will be killed too in this fight. So it will not bring anything positive to them.
yeah, I mean, I can understand his feelings towards Bhishma and Drona and all that, but Duryodhana had committed so many offenses towards him. As a Kshatriya, doesn't he feel that he needs to avenge what they did to him?
Right. So, but again, he was Kshatriya, but he was devotee too, right? So as a devotee, if you as a devotee, we should as a devotee, the devotee's nature is like that. They are very forgiving, right? Whatever the extreme other person do, they are very forgiving.
But as
So
a Kshatriya, why didn't he know that that was his duty to protect his own kingdom, you know?
yeah,
I
it
mean,
means right. Go ahead, Mataji.
no, I mean, I understand that Krishna put him in weakness, they say, you know, just to speak the Bhagavad Gita. But as a Kshatriya, he should have known that he needs to protect his kingdom, which Duryodhana was
Right. So
illegally taking from him.
yeah, he was blindfolded by this compassion, Mataji. We are also into these kind of situations many times that we know the reality. We understand what is right or but we still don't try to accept it, right? So we have been put into those kind of situations too. So it's exactly the same state for Arjuna. Maybe he understands that that's his duty, but the compassion is blindfolding him, and he is not ready to accept that. His mind is not ready to accept that. He is not. So that illusion need to go away. So that's why Krishna in chapter second, when Krishna will explain, and then eventually when Arjuna surrenders to Krishna, so and Krishna imparts this knowledge, then the condition of Arjuna is cured, right? So we are into the same state. Although we understand, even at a high level, we read Bhagavad Gita, we go through this text, we understand this philosophy, but we are still illusioned, right? We still sometimes say that why this is happening to me, what's others' fault, it's not my fault, and so we still think that that way, even if we understand the philosophy, even though we understand the reality, because we are illusioned, right? Similarly, Arjuna at this point of time is illusioned. He is not able to understand it. What is the real truth? It means he understands the real truth. He is not able to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have a hard time, you know, we feel false compassion towards people. Like even sometimes, you know, we have a hard time.
Right.
If our children do something wrong, we tend to forgive them, even though we probably should be sometimes, you know, harder on them than we should, you know, and we out of. But then we have to make a judgment between false compassion and real compassion, though, right? I mean, we can even show false compassion sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we are conditioned, Mataji. We are conditioned. Although we should try, but we are not always able to make it. But the devotees at the higher level, they are able to, they understand it. They don't get into these traps. It's us actually who are into this. Still, we are still enjoying uh, the the material world, so-called enjoyment, right? We get illusioned by this. So because we haven't, but we should practice. It's not that we should stop practicing. We should.
But how can you tell between false compassion and real compassion? I mean, let's say your child did something wrong and you need to punish that child for something that they did, but you, out of, you know, out of your affection, if you don't punish the child will never learn, you know. So how do you know the difference between false compassion and real compassion, you know?
Honestly, Mataji, we know it. When we have it, we know what is are we into false compassion or the real compassion. We know when our let's say when our kids make the mistake, we know that they are at fault, right? But they, let's say my teenager, they scream at me for some reason, right? Although I understand that I understand that they have done something wrong, but since because out of that attachment, right? Because we feel that, oh, they are just the kids and we should not and they don't have that level of maturity yet, we should not do it. So that's kind of we know what is a real compassion and not a real compassion. We understand that anyways, but we just don't act accordingly.
Because of our conditioning, you're saying.
Right, because of our conditioning, yes.
Thank you.
So it's 8:01. Are there any questions?
Prabhu, if there is no question, then I can quickly. So
your quiz, yeah.
Okay, sure, Prabhu. Yeah, please do that.
Okay, so today we have just.
Let me stop sharing, Prabhu.
We have 5 questions today. It's short. You can go ahead.
So you are sharing your screen?
Yeah, I mean, not say it's a poll. You're not seeing?
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Yes. So how much time we give for these questions, Prabhu?
It's not a specific time, but I usually decide or usually 1 minute or 2 minutes based on number of questions, sometimes 3 minutes. Yeah, it's not. I would like everyone to answer. That's my.
Should I show the live, share my screen, Prabhu, or show the live?
I will show the result and.
Okay.
You have a pretty colorful background there, Anand, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
I liked it. It's very nice, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
But it's not through Zoom, right? Or is it through Zoom?
It's through Zoom. You just download any background. So I found it, so I liked it. So that's why.
But usually what I've seen, right, when people put the background, they sometimes goes into it and sometimes coming out of it. But for you, it is not happening like that. So I was thinking, is it through, if you have seen somebody on the background, it seems like sometimes they're going inside it, outside, like that it is visible.
But nobody is right now coming in and out. So I close.
No, for you, it is very pretty much, it's not like your face is going inside and outside, but I have seen through most of the Zoom background.
Right. It I have seen, because some backgrounds has the colors like that. It's that color thing also, because sometimes you see that little fuzziness on the hairs and all that stuff. But
yes.
This the coloring of this picture is better. That's why it's not happening like that.
Okay, all right. We can end the poll here. I'm ending the poll. So here you go. You can see the result. So yeah, 100% answer correct in the first questions. Second questions, yes. So except 1, 2, 3. Where is that? Okay, the 6 aggression, right? So I put 8. So the one who, which one is the one who doesn't chant 16 round, that is not correct. Obviously, that's not aggressor. And other 6 are correct.
So you put 7, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, 7. 1 is wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
One who doesn't chant. So what is the significance of Madhava? Madhava is goddess, is the husband of goddess of fortune. That's why it's called Madhava. Okay, so this is the tricky answer. I see multiple answer, right? Saintliness is not justified for what? So it is in the purport. Prabhupada says that saintliness is not justified for a Kshatriya. That's what it's mentioned in the purport. And so, yeah. So because saintliness is okay, but not justified for Kshatriya. That's what he's mentioned in that purport. So, which saintly personality did Prabhupada mention in this verse? So, he's giving the example of Lord Rama, Rama Rajya. That's what he said, right? So, Rama, Lord Rama. So, yeah, that's all for today's quiz. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. This is interesting. Thanks.
Okay, we will end here then.
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Anand Vrindavan Prabhu ki jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone.